Alright guys, welcome back to a brand new Minecraft video. Now today, in spirit of October 31st, coming right up, today we are going to be building a brand new build. And what this is going to be a Halloween themed house. Now as you can see here, if you saw my last video that had the horrible audio, we have constructed the outpost. Hold up, let me fix up this full screen situation there. There we go. That looks a lot better. That looks good. Now, if we could just go over into a nice flat area with some trees. This is where the build is going to look the best. Okay, like right over, how about we choose this area right here. This looks good enough to me. So, if we go over here, right? What we're going to do is we are going to map out where we are going to be placing our blocks. And now this is key because you want to map out a diagram of what the actual house is going to be shaped like. Now, I'm going to back down my video settings just a little bit, just so I can get some stable performance. That way I can provide the best thing. Now, what I want to do is, since this is a Halloween themed house, we want to use something orange. So how about we use strip. So we're going to need stripped acacia logs. We're going to need dark oak planks to make a nice mysterious looking house. And we're going to use a dark oak door to make it look creepy, you know? We're going to use some vines also, but we're going to build the actual structure first. Now we're not, I guess we could use hay bales. So what you want to do is you want to map out a 3x4 area to start off with. Alright, so we want 1, 2, 3, 4, right? See, look at that. Two blocks apart. 2 blocks apart. So now we have our 4 blocks here. Now we want to go forward 3. 1, 2, 3. So, see, you want to mark this off. And what this is going to do is this is going to... You want them facing up, by the way. You want them facing vertical. That way, it could look the best. And now that I've just ran that command real quick, there we go. So now when you have this marked off, this is going to be outside of the house. This is going to be our patio. Alright, and this is where the house is going to be going, right or over here. So you want to dig out into the soil, and you want to get, now that we've marked it out, you want to go just like that. And, you know, let's make it a 4x4 because this does not look up to my standard. You see? Look at that. So now we have a nice symmetrical layout. Now what we want to do is we want to get the dark oak planks. We want to place them just like that. Alright. And now we have our platform. This is our patio right here that we have just constructed. Now, with our platform constructed, we want to initiate the process of building the house. But before we do that, we should probably use some spruce fence, because we use spruce over here, and we used acacia to make it look fallish, I guess. So now, we want our house to be right over here. So we want a nice fence leading up to the entrance of the house. Okay, just like that. We want to get a nice fence gate. Alright, spruce, that way it matches. This is our entrance, and we want to dig back. Now, I have laid out over here, once again, we have stripped acacia logs right here. Alright, a 2-block gap, a 2-block gap, alright, with the stripped acacia on all 4 sides. That way it's nice and big like that. That way it could lead to a nice large house. Now what we want to do is, since we have a pattern of stripped acacia, stripped acacia, stripped acacia, we just want to keep doing that for a bit. Alright, just like that. Just like that. Alright? And we want to do the same thing for the same distance with this block here also. Just like that. Now, I am not a professional builder, but I do like to think of myself as an intermediate. Someone who knows a thing or two about building, but not someone who's a downright professional and can build anything. Now, we want to just dig this out a bit, just like that. Alright, you just want to clear this. So, we're going to do things the fun way, because this is a little boring. And then we want to get flint and steel, just like that. So now what we want to do is we want to place down TNT right here. We want to light the TNT. I haven't used TNT in a while. Alright, just like that. And I know that I have dug a crater here, but this was intentional. I assure you of that. Now I want to place one more right over here. Just like that. Blow that up, right? Look at that. Oh, that's a pretty good explosion. Anyways, you just want to dig out the rest. That way you have a nice, clear area. Okay? Now, if you're doing this in survival, you could still do it in survival because it's a fairly simple build. But now, what you want to do is you want to skip one block apart. So you want to count from here, right? This is the end. Alright, basically you want to do in every other block situation like that. Okay? And this is going to result in a very good-looking structure. That is going to definitely blend in with Halloween themed, and it's going to look really good. See, just like that. So we just want to keep doing that the way we have been doing it, which is that way. Oh boy, I'm sounding like you know who. And then you want to fill in the gaps with dark oak. Or, no, spruce, I mean. Or you could use dark oak. Both of them look comparable. But dark oak is really the way to go because I like oak, but it's just a personal preference. So you just want to keep filling in these holes. And I'll pretend I know what I'm doing. Just like that. And then you just want to keep filling it in. You want to keep on filling in the floor. That way you can make a very unique looking structure that is definitely a conversation piece. See, just like that. Wait a minute. I think I went one too far out. Hold up. Let me get some dirt real quick. This should blend immediately. So, we just want to keep doing that, right? We just want to keep doing that. Just like that. We just want to keep on doing it. Now, what we want to do is we want to try to count out an even amount of blocks in which we continue to do that. So we have, alright, so we have our fence right here, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just like that. See? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And as you can see, this is marking our pretty much axis of symmetry. Not trying to get too mathematical, but that's pretty much what's going on here. Now we just want to keep on filling in the dead spots with the wood, the correct pattern. That way we could have the best looking house that we could possibly build. Now, this is the hard part. Getting the layout is the difficult part, okay? Because the layout is basically the definition of the entire house. This is how it's going to look. This is the consistency that it's going to have, just like that, right? Want to do that. Alright, and we just want to keep on marking this out. Okay, just like that. I know this is an extended tutorial, but this is a longer build that will definitely look like it took longer to make. Once we are complete, that is. Because right now it just looks like a whole lot of nothing. But I can personally guarantee you that this house will look like a whole lot of something once we're done. Now that we have our floor laid out, we want to break the rules, because usually we would build on here, just like that, but actually what we want to do is we want to break that fence, because we want to have this, the doorway, right here, right? I'm just going to do that. It doesn't really matter, because this is our doorway here. This is our wall. This is where our wall is going to be. So I'm just going to throw that down. It doesn't really matter that it looks a little uneven. Alright, like we could just do away with that pattern over here. Just like that. And here we are. We're pretty much done. Now that we have our foundation laid out, this is our layout that we're going to use for this entire build. Now, what we want to do is we want to get a spookier block. We want to get something that looks a little eerie, right? So let's look at building blocks. Alright, so now we have used dark oak planks. We have used acacia. And you know what? Why don't we put some hay bales right over here? You know, like a little farm area, right? Look at that. Just like that. I know it may look a little bad right now, but I assure you that this will come together and look really good. Alright, so now there we go. You see that? That's our farmhouse right there. And if you want, you could just put, you could even put doors here. But now we want to get to laying out the entire house, which this is the easy part. Because we have done all of the hard work, because it doesn't really matter what it looks like externally, because we're going to be placing vines. Now we just want to build a generic house structure, right? We just want to build a basic house structure. And it doesn't really matter what the end result looks like, because as long as it looks good on the inside... Hold up, let me go in one block. Just like that. Yeah, let's skip one block just like that. Let's keep doing that. So now this is our spooky house. I guess I'll call it the spooky home. And now we have our doorway. This is the official layout. So if we want to take notes, we have our doorway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks out. Alright, from each end, 7 blocks out. I think I'm short on this end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, I am short. 7. Alright. So we want to dig that up because we want our logs here placing. Now, you could easily go underneath here and just start placing blocks, but this is going to be closed off, so it doesn't necessarily matter what the end result is as far as what we do here. So, since that is the way that we have built the house, we now have our layout. And now what we want to do is we just want to get glass. I know that glass panes exist and they could add a lot of texture to the house, but I'm feeling old school today, so I'm just going to use just straight up glass, just like that. You see that? And now I am recording. That is good. So now we want to get our glass blocks. Alright, and we want to make a wall that is... this is 1 block high. Let's make it 5 blocks. And we're going to break the rules. And instead of doing a pillar here, we're just going to make this entire thing out of glass. Just like that. So we have 2 blocks, 3 blocks, 4 blocks, and then 5 blocks. And then we have our darker planks. Just like that. So we want to just fill that in, right? We just want to fill that in. Alright, we just want to keep filling it in. Just like that. And we want to do this to all angles of the house, because this will result in the best, finest looking house. And like a lot of my builds, these tend to be fairly sandbox, meaning that I give a basic structure, you choose how to execute it. You see, like, you could use different blocks for this. This is really just a universal build that you could do with anything, so you don't have to listen to my exact instructions, because I trust your imagination would result with a good-looking build, because that's how I learned to build, just by building over the years. And yeah, so if we just keep on throwing it up, keep on throwing it up, keep on throwing that house up, just like that. Alright, and we want to have it, 5 blocks of glass tall. Just like that, right? 1, 2, 3, 4... Actually, no, 4 blocks of glass. I lied to you guys. I'm sorry. So, we just want to keep on throwing up that glass. Alright, and we just want to do it at all angles. Now, the reason why I'm doing this, instead of putting in pillars at each side, is just so we have a basic layout of what the finished structure would look like. We can do modifications to this, right? So, we can always do whatever we want to this, because like all of the builds that I do, it is, in fact, a sandbox build. You can make a few tweaks here and there. Alright, but this is our general structure. Now what we want to do is, for starters, this looks great and all, but it's not Halloween-y enough, right? We need to add something to fix it. So why don't we grab a jack-o'-lantern? Alright, and why don't we put a jack-o'-lantern? Let me just put a little wall of jack-o'-lanterns. Just like that, Put something in the middle here, middle here, middle here. Just like that, just to add a little bit of flair to the house. Make it look a little better than it does now, because this is a little boring, not gonna lie. because since we made glass there, we're going to see that from the inside, so I've got to do this textbook. And then you just want to finish it off, and look at that. Now I want to do the same thing on both sides for the front of the house, but what we want to do first is we want to cap off this roof, right? Now, you could do two methods of building a roof, alright? Now let's do a count of how many blocks wide this house is. That's a glitch. That's a weird glitch. I never had that problem. Okay. So we want to count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7, alright, which is perfect. Because that gives us room to make a nice basic roof structure. Now, what we want to do is we just kind of want to continue to build off the entire house just like this. We want to finish off this top roof layer. I assure you we'll figure this out in a second, but for now we're just going to keep doing that, and we're just going to keep on throwing it up. Now what we want to do is we want to count, alright, 1, 2, alright, just like that, and we want to make like a nice long roof like that, right? So we just want to continue to build this up, and just like that, we have our roof up. It's almost done. It is almost done, our house. This house is almost complete, but not quite. Now, we have two options here. We could use glass, or we could use a stained glass. But since this is a Halloween themed, I'm going to go with orange stained glass, which is usually something I don't do. I think it's ugly in my opinion, but this is Halloween, so it's not really our time for judging what we like and dislike, because this is a house that's seasonal and it's not permanent. You could easily change out the glass if you really disliked it. So, to prove my point, I'll just throw that there. Alright. I'll throw that there. And we just want to keep on filling this in, just like that. And once we do this, we are nearing the point of complete. Now, I know this may look like a very basic rectangle, and that, quite frankly, is because it is a very basic rectangle. But we need to fix that because this looks boring. Like, this looks good, right? But we need to figure out, first of all, we need to make this symmetrical. So what we're going to do is we're going to just break that off. Just like that. Just like that. Oop, oop, oop. Alright. I'm being a little bit of a... You know what? Perfect. It's perfect that it's turning night. That way when we view this house in the night, you can just see how good this looks in the wee hours of the night. I've really got to turn Do Not Disturb on when I'm making these videos. Alright. So we would just want to replace that with hay bale. And then we're almost done. As in, we are done. Because we now have a symmetrical, alright, build. We now have pretty much a symmetrical build just like that. We want to add hay bales on this side just to make it look symmetrical as possible. But now that it is turning night, we need to illuminate this house now somehow, right? So what I would recommend is I would recommend getting soul lanterns. Alright, soul lanterns. Soul lanterns. Just like that. Because these soul lanterns have an eerie look to them. And they do illuminate. Now, you want to drop a soul lantern there, just like that. We want to get a fence post out there, just like that. And just have them dangling over the top like that. And this is our entryway. Now what we want to do on the inside to make this look as eerie as possible, we need to do a layout of how we're going to actually store our stuff, right? So let's get a chest. I really should prepare a chest. But you know what? This is a Halloween themed house. We're going to use ender chest. Alright. And on top of the ender chest, we're going to use a crafting table. Alright. And crafter. Redstone? When did that get added? Anyways. So just like that, we now have our completed structure. except we have an open hole here, which is not good. We do not want that. So you have two options. You could put solid wood here, which I could demonstrate what that looks like. We could put solid wood, which looks okay, but I feel like we're missing something, right? So let's figure it out. What if we put glass right here? It looks good, right? Well, like I said, this house is pretty sandbox, so I think that looks good. You could put the 2 blocks of wood here and glass here. You could do whatever you want, pretty much. But now we need to figure out how to make this house segregated in that we need more rooms, okay? So now, what we want to do is we want to get our wood, right? Our nice dark oak planks, right? And we just want to drop that. Alright, and we want to make what I would guess is a kitchen. Alright, we just want to split this house off into rooms now. That's our goal. Okay? And now that we've done that, we just want to keep doing that. Alright, we just want to keep... Alright, when you have 1, 2, 3, 4, alright, right in the middle of the house, like this. Alright, what we want to do is we just want to drop this wood down. Alright, and that is because this is going to be a loft. This is going to be where you drop your bed. As a matter of fact, I'll get the bed right now. So, we're going to get a bed. We're going to get the classic red bed because we are old school individuals today. Now I want to get that. See, look at that. Almost perfect. Almost. I'm 1 block off, as you can see. But you could easily just do a single bed, and that fixes that problem. Now that we have our loft, we want to deal with the lighting situation. So now, we are lacking a bit of light. So what I'm going to do, personally, is I'm going to place a light there, a light in that corner, a light in this corner, and a light in this corner. Just like that. And then get the regular lanterns to just add a little bit of spice to the house, just like that. Okay? I want to put that there, put that there, put that there, and put that there, because this will offer a little more light, and this will look really good, in my personal opinion. Everyone has opinions, though. Now, you have 2 options when it comes to the kitchen. 3 options. You could leave this open. You can put a gate, or you could just put a door. Now, the door looks spooky, so since this is a kind of made to be an eerie build, why don't we just block it off with hay bale, just like that. See, so this is a very simple structure. Alright, it doesn't take that long to complete. See, look at that. Double doors. Look at that. That looks good. So I'd say this is a good looking structure in my opinion. So now we have our completed build. Now, one thing we need to figure out is how are we going to get up to the loft? And my answer to that is ladders today, because I think that will look... You know what? This is Halloween themed. I can't be scared of that. This is a creative world. I'm not in threat. Alright. Not being threatened. Alright, now let me just put that there like that. And let's do this. Let's repeat it 2 times on both sides. Actually, that's a bad idea. Don't listen to that. That's stupid advice. How about we put vines instead? Because I think vines would look a lot better. Just like that. Alright, now eventually this would grow in, so you're going to have to trim it. But if you put vines here, this will add like a little bit of a nature theme to it. It'll add a little bit of something like that. You could crawl up here like that to your bed where we could sleep. But we don't want to go to sleep yet because we need to demonstrate what this house looks like at night. Now, what we want to do is we want to get regular lanterns. And as much as I would love to do soul lanterns just don't throw off enough light. Just the way it is. Don't throw off enough light. So we're going to use regular lanterns like that. I'm going to drop a regular lantern on top of the crafting table. Just add some aesthetics. We're going to get a furnace. Alright, and then when we get the furnace, we're going to drop it into furnace. Alright. Let's get a nice furnace here. Now we're just going to drop some furnaces, alright? Just like that, and then we're going to put a lantern on top of the furnace. And now once you've done that, this build is pretty much complete. You've got a glass wall here that looks really good. Okay. And on top of a glass building that looks really good, in my personal opinion, you could easily do some modifications, and you know what, just to keep things symmetrical, if you have the resources, because I tend to keep my builds survival, meaning that this is not something you're just going to build in creative. Like, you're not just going to build an entire house out of diamonds, because first of all, it's ugly in my opinion, sue me, and it's not very conventional. It would be impossible to build it in survival. But this right here is a house that can be built in both creative, survival, and survival, right? So now that we have our house... Oh, it looks like the house's eyes. That looks really good. Now, once we have that, we can easily put torches here. We could do some stuff there, because I think something's missing. I don't know what exactly is missing, but it's missing. So how about we just drop lanterns on both sides, just like that. And I would say this house looks pretty good now. One thing you can do is you could try using acacia doors, which I think would look kind of bad. But one door that I know always works is oak. But this is pretty much it. So now that we have gone through the entire build, let's just explain the dimensions of the rectangular building. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we have 16 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 16 this way, 7 this way, and by my understanding, we have 6 up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you could easily do a flat roof, but what you would be sacrificing is you would be sacrificing this window right here. You would be sacrificing the loft, which really, in my opinion, isn't worth it, because I think the loft adds a lot of personality to the building, because I think this would look really boring if it just cut off here and was just wood like that. I just think that would look pretty good if it were to cut off like that. But since we have officially constructed our house... Oh, you see the vines? See? So this could be a little annoying to open the door. It could be a little annoying to open up the doors, but you could always just break the vines as they grow, as it is easy to do. Now you just want to drop down a lantern here, put some lanterns by your bed, have some light. No, let's just put the lanterns there and there, just like that, and up there, just like that, up and down. See, just like that. Then let's put it on the corners, and we could consider this build complete. And if you want to add a mine to your house, what I would recommend is inside of here, I would recommend that this would be the mining hub. So let's just get some chests. Alright. And let's just put some... Oh, trap chests. I don't want trap chests. I just want regular ones. Regular, please. Oh, would that even open? Oh, it would. So now you just have, you know, your double chests. You've got storage. You've got storage now. Oh, we can't do that. So now we have storage, right? Look at that. And what you can do here is you can make a mine here and just start mining down. But this is really how you want to do it. So just so I can get you started and show you what a mine would look like here, let's get some polished diorite. Polished, you could use deep slate, but let's be realistic, you don't have deep slate yet. You don't have it yet. If you do, good job. But let's just use polished andesite, because I think that would be the best option for this. So now we want to just dig down. We just want to dig this mine down, just like that. And as you keep mining down, you just want to make the walls made out of polished andesite, because that will result in the best looking house, in my opinion. Just like that. See, just like that. Just like that. And you could, you know, let's just use lanterns because we're fancy today. Although that could be proving problematic when you want to go up. But as far as I'm concerned, I have demonstrated the entire house build, and I think it looks really good. So if you guys agree with that statement, and if you learned something, I would appreciate if you could first of all comment any tweaks that you would make to this build, because I'm always open to new ideas. I like new ideas. I think that's what keeps the world going around. But apparently some people are just too close-minded to accept them. But I guarantee you I'm not that person. So that's pretty much it. We've built our house. Alright, this is our Halloween-themed house. And let me just mark it with a sign real quick. And let's use a spruce hanging sign, because I think that would look the best. Now, let me just put it right over... how about here, I guess? No. That looks pretty bad. Let me just use a regular sign. I don't like the idea of the hanging ones. They just don't look good, in my opinion. And to keep things spooky, let's just name this Halloween. What will I call this? Long House. Halloween Longhouse. Let's call it that. Or let's call it Halloween Ranch. Let me get that. Oh, interesting. Oh, interesting. So, yeah, so we could call this Halloween Longhouse because it is a longhouse. Or we could name it Halloween Ranch, or, you know what, no, how about Halloween Cottage. There we go. The Halloween Cottage, guys. That's the official name. Anyways, I hope you guys learned something today, and if you did, I appreciate that. And if you could just do it for me, I would appreciate it, because I like making these videos for you. I like to teach you something. And if you could just do that for me, subscribe and like, I would appreciate that. Or like and subscribe. I'm dyslexic today, I guess. I don't know. But as you can see here, we have a pretty good looking house. And if you're concerned about mobs spawning on the house, just throw some lanterns down. Just throw some lanterns down. That's all there is to it. Then you're pretty much done. Very basic house build, in my opinion. Very basic. Very low tech. Could be thrown up in the matter of minutes. But if you don't have glass, you could easily make this out of wood. And I think that would actually look a little better than the glass. I think wood would look way better, in my opinion. Because this is, you know, supposed to be an ominous, eerie house, right? But pretty much after you're done with that, just throw some vines down. Just throw some vines. Just like that. And eventually this will kind of just cover the house, and it'll just look really spooky and eerie. So I hope you guys learned something from this. And if you did, I hope you have a nice day. And thank you so much for watching, and I really hope I taught you guys something new. Anyways, have a nice one, and happy Halloween, gang.